This podcast is brought to you by the Podtower, hosted by the Watchtower database. Visit youtube.com/thepodtower for informative, hilarious DC animation-themed podcasts and live streams every week. And check out the Watchtower database for DCAU video essays, timelines, fan theories, and more. And please, enjoy the show.
Yeah,
that's where I started. Right, that
listener,
sound.
We just found out
Yes?
that it's actually kind of upsetting news.
What?
But James and I have had every conversation we could conceivably have. We've used every combination of words and in like a few different languages.
Yeah,
and there's just nothing for
there's
us
nothing
to talk
left.
about.
We've said we've had up every possible conversation, every possible topic. We realized, so what you just heard of us that's the first time we've talked. Like, we got on the Zoom call, we just kind of stared at each other. He gave
for about 3 minutes.
Yeah, he gave me a little wink that indicated, I'm now recording.
I blinked 3 times, and then we blinked at the same time together.
We're actually lying. We're not. It's illegal for us to talk outside of the podcast per our contract. So
we have an NDA against ourselves.
It's just so that Brian definitely doesn't get any spoilers at all. We have to not say anything to each other unless the red rec button is on. You know.
Yeah.
And then we get wrecked.
And then once we're done recording, that's it.
Yep, we hit record, and then that's why I just hang up on Brian with unceremoniously, because
and Dylan,
I'm not allowed to say bye. Yeah, I did that to Dylan last time too.
Sure did. I was like, "Don't do it." And just like cut off.
There's just a little chuckle from him in the end of his recording, and then he stopped, and yours was like, "Oh, he did it," or something. Yeah,
that checks out.
Welcome back to Jump on the Bat-Wagon, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you?
I thought you were talking to me.
Welcome back to Jump on the Bat-Wagon, Brian. I'm so glad to be able to talk to you again finally here on the podcast.
It's been just so long.
1 week.
Since you looked at me.
To talk to Brian, because we're not allowed to according to the contract. I'm James. And you are, who's that? Over there? You with your hand raised? They don't know that your hand's not raised.
It's not raised.
I'm here to show my good buddy Brian.
And I'm Brian.
The entire DC. That's the perfect timing for it. Your Pokemon outburst there in the middle. The entire DC animated universe from start to finish. Those are the hand motions you have to make. No one can see them.
Wait, what are they? I was
Start
talking levels.
To finish.
Finish.
I don't know.
Why is this
is
finished?
Open and closed, sort of, is what I think I was mentally getting.
I feel like start.
No one knows what I'm doing, though.
And finish.
You know what I think the best hand movements is this one and then this one. Those are the best ones.
Oh, listener, write in and let us know who had the best hand motions.
I'm getting a phone call from Jessica's mom. Hang on. Hello. I am currently recording a podcast, and the boy is being watched by my mom in the living room. That is A-okay to do, yeah. You get those little shoes? Okay, cool. Okay. Yep, bye. That's staying in. Did you get those little shoes, Brian?
Nope.
I sent you
got
little
big
shoes. Oh, I sent you little shoes knowing they wouldn't fit you.
You asshole. Did you get the feedback? Did that work?
The feedback?
I put my headphone up to the microphone and I blasted
No, I
it.
didn't hear anything because my headphones.
Oh, that's
were
right.
on. I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Always forget.
I was making this hand motion. Right here.
Well, this is a bad podcast.
All right.
Okay,
so,
bye.
So that Brian may view these shows the way human beings experience them in the far gone days of the 1900s. We recommend you watch today's DCAU episode before listening to this podcast to get the full experience out of our discussion. I'm going to stop saying that I can't make you do that, but I can make Brian do that. It isn't really flowing, you know.
Okay.
People have complained heavily to me. They email me every day saying, stop saying that.
That
So
checks
I
out.
will. At the time of this recording,
Oh, 1:46 p.m.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Superman, the animated series, I almost said Batman, is streaming on Max.
My dog.
And available on DVD and Blu-ray. We don't have anything to say.
My other dog.
My other dog. DVD
Max
and Blu-ray.
And Blu-ray.
That's the full name of the dog.
I was having a conversation the other day about like what I would have named my dogs if I had chosen their names.
Yeah, if they weren't already named.
Yeah, they had names for you.
They had pre-names. Yes.
Pre-named, which is why they're so like Max and Rosie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think DVD and Blu-ray.
A sophisticated scientist would never name my dog such names. Yeah.
You think I'm a scientist?
I don't know. That's the first thing that came to mind.
Okay.
I know how that works. Max and DVD and Blu-ray. That's what I would name the dogs. What would you name them?
One is Max and the other is DVD and Blu-ray.
Yes. It's spelled like in a very strange fashion as one word also.
DEEVEI DEEANDIE BLUERAE.
So the I in the middle there is silent.
Sure.
What were you getting at, though? Were you actually going to name them?
I don't know. We're just talking about that. I honestly don't know what name I'd give them, especially knowing their personalities now. Like the quieter fluff one and the more defensive she one.
Come here, she one. She goes, oh, he comes over there. She makes a duck sound. This is episode 89 of the podcast. Superman the Animated Series, episode A Last Piece of Home. A Little Piece of Home. Aladdin's Piece of Home.
Aladdin lives in home.
Aladdin and the King of Home. This originally aired Saturday.
So is that whole thing the subtitle for the podcast?
God damn it. No. That's way too... I can't... It'll just be abbreviated to the letters or something. I don't know. September 14th, 1996, 10 a.m., Kids WB. We skipped 1 week. This is
my God.
Produced number 5 and aired number 5.
We produced this 5th and we aired it 5th.
It's the same. Drink your drink.
Let's drink your drink.
This was
I'm
written...
gonna make some tea. You want some tea?
Yeah.
What kind of tea you want?
Brosian Bado. You got any more of that over there? Is there any left over?
Yeah, bro.
That one's for the real winners, the real listeners. Anyway, written by Hilary J. Bader. This is the first time. Previously wrote a handful of Star Trek The Next Generation and Voyager episodes. Directed by Kazuhide Tomonaga, which is previously Fun and Games last time, same director. Music is by Christopher Carter, who was also last time and previously composed Lock Up and Catwalk. And animation by Tokyo Movie Shinsha, same as
so
last
this
time.
Is a redo. We're going to have one really bad scene visually, and then it's going to get really good by the end.
It's just the Toyman episode written by a different person. And they called it something else because they wrote it. I don't think I like Fun and Games. I'm going to call this A Little Piece of Home. It represents how Toyman lost his home and then he blew up his next home afterward.
Nice.
That's it. I'm going to watch the show. You're going to make tea.
Yeah, I think, you go watch it.
I'll go watch it, all right?
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, Kent, I'm in a hurry. Say, you don't look so hot.
I'm fine. What's the rush?
Take a look at this.
Ah!
Careful!
I'm sorry. Just clumsy, I guess. What is it?
Lex Labs got a hold of some kind of meteor that seems to have the ability to drain Superman's powers. This is just a small sliver. You sure you're not catching something?
I'm okay. Really.
I'm taking this piece over to Star Labs to let them have a look at it. I'll let you know what they say. The gentleman would like a large orange juice, chicken soup, and tea with lemon. You gotta take care of yourself, Smallville.
Yeah, you really don't look so good.
Superman v Dinosaur. Dawn.
That's what we. That's
cup in the corner of the room. I was so I forgot how they beat the dinosaur. I was like, basketball, yeah.
You were very excited about that, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
you should have been
I should have, and should have, but did. Did you want to tell me? Well, first I'll tell you the official synopsis here, because again, it's one sentence long. Lex Luthor discovers Superman's vulnerability to kryptonite and attempts to exploit this weakness to rid himself once and for all of the Man of Steel.
Yes.
If you're wondering, Synup, what you just watched, Synup, take a listen to the synopsis, the short summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
Yeah.
Then you flip off at the end. You flip off Brian.
Oh, no.
What happened in a little piece of home? They said Blarney at the start.
Well, I should tell you. But not an Irish accent.
No.
So, you know what? I'm glad just pre-Synup. I'm glad with the direction that they went.
Oh?
Because I was a little like... Honestly, getting a little like bored already of Superman just being the like super duper strong kind of guy.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold,
they introduce anti-Superman in rock form. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you knew that was coming. You know the concept of kryptonite. So.
Yeah. I just didn't realize. Well, no, I guess I did. But
you
okay.
guessed that this was Kryptonite's origin story last episode.
Yeah, I
already forgot.
But then I remembered that I guessed that. So I did okay.
You remembered you were still wearing your hat.
I got a C+. Okay, so Superman is... There's a museum thing that Lex is opening for some publicity, and he's all like, yeah, check out this shit. And some robbers were like, haha, I'm gonna rob this shit. And then Superman's like, no, you're not gonna rob it, except, whoa, I'm standing too close.
I'm a horse now.
I'm standing too close to these green rocks. And then Superman becomes useless, and the robbers get away.
Superman's usefulness dies immediately. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So he gets away. They get away. And Superman's all like, what happened? And then Lex and his henchwoman are figuring out what happened because they have security cameras, and they're just like, wow, he stood too close to those rocks. Why did they make that assumption?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. So the episode could continue quicker, I guess.
I guess so, yeah, okay.
It was the only difference in what was happening was he was by those ones, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but what would lead them to immediately come to the conclusion of it must be those rocks that
it could have been splinters from the ancient and irreplaceable shield that the man splatted across Superman without any consequence.
Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just having food poisoning or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, they were right, though. They were right that it was the rock.
They were right. It's the rocks. Superman got too close to kryptonite, which wasn't named kryptonite yet, and actually didn't get named. They didn't say kryptonite until Lois Lane is like, it's the kryptonite.
It's the kryptonite that I just made up the word for, yeah.
Yeah, the scientist was like, oh, I guess I thought
it was going to be in that scene, too. Anyway, what keeps happening? Yeah.
That's a good question.
They're at a diner.
So Superman's getting messed up, and Lois Lane is like, hey, the scientist gave me this sliver of kryptonite. And he's like, cool, give it to me. Ouch! And then he starts getting all sicky. And
ow, my super hand. I mean hand, normal human hand. I'm a normal guy. What's wrong with you, Clark? You're reacting exactly how Superman would. Oh, well, goodbye. You're really some chicken soup.
Clark, can you imagine? Clark, we found this rock that definitely fucks up Superman. Here, hold on to it. Wow, you're getting fucked up in the same way that Superman got fucked up when he stood too close to these rocks.
Yeah.
Have some chicken soup. It'll make you feel better.
Superman, I'm already fucking it up. Clark, can I bash this priceless ancient shield across your body? You seem to be reacting the same exact way Superman did.
Yeah, right.
By nothing happening. I thought about that after when I was editing the TikTok that I just put out of from last podcast episode.
That was a good one.
The little scene of Superman tackling Bruno Mannheim in the park. When I was scrubbing through that moment to find that shot, there's a part where the airplanes are coming and Clark Kent goes to run to do something, and his hand is like trailing behind him, and Lois Lane reaches out and grabs his wrist and like pulls him back down. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was just thinking, like, she should have done that, and her arm just rips out of her body. Oh my God. And he's like, wait a sec, sorry, I forgot, I didn't realize you were doing that. Like,
Unless she also has super strength.
She's also a Kryptonian. She's also a Kansnian. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so we get past the diner scene, and Lex is all like, okay, I got this figured out. I'm going to fuck up Superman with my big rock.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was a big rock, he said. He threw a rock at him, yeah.
He did throw a rock. Well, he like placed a rock
He
at
dinosaur mouthed a rock at him.
He did. He bowling for souped the the green rock out of the dino mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore.
I get you.
So then, we're just gonna like fast forward through this one. It's gonna have to be another
you can't
term,
do it
because now I
purpose,
know.
Yeah. Or it is. It can be that still, and we just start fucking ourselves over here.
Yeah. So,
jetpack guys.
Oh, there's jetpack guys. That's right. Oh my God, this is too long of a synop.
Yeah.
There's a fight.
Hurry
They lure Superman in by stealing some money plates, which I thought was just a briefcase full of like $200 bills, and that's it.
Yeah, it was a little like, don't worry, here's the incredibly cool shit, and I'm like, well, okay, if you say so, yeah.
Like I'm used to like, bad guys open up a briefcase of money, and it's like a briefcase of money. There's millions of dollars or whatever, and they open this up, and it just looks like 2 bills. Like it's kind of shiny, but
here's your gift certificate, Commissioner Jones. Free Blockbuster rental here for you.
Yeah. So anyway, like they lure Superman in, and just to test the whole rock hypothesis on him, and sure enough,
choose the most like grandiose scheme to test like it. We're pretty sure it was the rock, so instead of like doing something small scale first to make sure it's the rock, let's try to have my men very easily traceable back to me steal this very important document or whatever from like a bunch of like FBI agents or something. Yeah, big jetpack crusade.
That like, I mean, good storytelling, kind of, until you start pulling it apart like us.
Sure.
But like for me, here's where it falls through.
Yeah.
Lex sent him on a wild goose chase and put this rock like kind of far from his immediate person, just to like test this hypothesis, which kind of could come back to bite him for whatever reason. Superman doesn't capitalize on it, but the rock is like captured again by his henchwoman, but like Superman goes to Lex and is like, hey dude, I'm watching you. He gets all up in his face, and like he doesn't have his defense anymore.
Yeah. Well,
Superman could have punched through him.
Let me finish this Signat, because I have many thoughts about this.
Fine. I'm gonna just speed through this last bit.
He fights a dinosaur.
So Superman goes into the museum. The dinosaur is now animatronic. He spits a freaking kryptonite loogie at him. Lois is like, no one's ever named this shit but kryptonite. And then Lois basketballs kryptonite into a lead cup, which, by the way, hey, check it out. Lead is the one thing that the kryptonite's radiation can't go through.
That is how that works.
Superman fastball pitches it into space, and it seems as though the kryptonite lands without its lead casing on a planet
Brian.
with some boxes that say LexCorp.
No, Brian, that's on Earth, and it's more. It's more of it.
Oh.
They're just digging around for it, and they find
it was just like
of
the
it.
Same shape and stuff, and I was like,
it's like the same model or whatever. The same I get it. I get you.
So
there were very human-looking archaeologists on a distant planet going, no, it has to be green. Unlike this one that's a different shade of green.
I don't know the rules of this universe because it's dumb.
Well, okay. I was just going to say, like, that would be so weird if the aliens looked like people, but then Krypton, so.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole, like.
You're either an exact Caucasian man or you are a chin person. Those are the two options, yeah. So far.
I mean, it's like you know, like at the start of this episode, I was just like, oh yeah, here's this thing like Superman moving really fast, and these guys are trying to beat him up, and they're like not able to like affect him at all, and he's Superman, he's so strong, whatever. And then like later the jetpack chase, and he's like, oh, okay, he's like netted up, and he's like kind of falling, but nope, he's Superman, and now he's like burning on fire, but he's gonna blow up the gun.
Was that the end? That was the end.
The end.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, just for future James's sake. Anyway.
Yeah. Sorry. But like it's just the and I know you said this, and I know I have to like suspend my kind of like impressions of it. It's not to say that I don't enjoy this, because I was actually like the end of this episode, especially when the T-Rex animatronic T-Rex guy was getting bashed with dinosaur bones. I was reminded of this cartoon from my very early childhood, like a cassette from when I was like 4 years old, of this show called Dino Riders. Yeah. I think
We've talked about it on the pod.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I think
you
it was
actually
a show.
had toys. Yeah.
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 And wow, man, your memory is so good.
Sometimes.
But like it reminded me of that, and I was just kind of like, man, I kind of got this like nostalgic moment. And I'm like, you know what, this show is like pretty cool, but I still don't fucking get. I don't get how. Thank you. I don't get how. And I know it's so inconsistent with like things that mess him up, and it's like whatever messes him up is just what the plot needs, and I don't really like that.
What was inconsistent this episode? Because to me, it felt pretty like rock bad.
Yes. The kryptonite notwithstanding, like, you know, we have the like guys bashing stuff over his head and he's fine. We have him like there's the fire gun, which is affecting him at first, and then he flies through the fire and grabs the end of the gun and like hangs out in the explosion, kinda. Yeah.
He grabs the foreskin of the gun and lets it explode. And that guy's just holding the gun. I was like, oh my God, like his arms should be gone, but he's totally fine.
Right, like his everything
what
should be gone. Me?
And I wish that their arms were missing, but
but like there's like that kind of stuff where it's like the fire messed him up. Oh, actually, it's not that big of a deal.
Or as it was happening, I was mad about that, but then I thought maybe like, okay, he's unaware of whether a certain thing will hurt him or not, and then he goes, I guess it doesn't, and just keeps going or something. I don't know.
But like let's go to Exhibit B, which is the falling jetliner. Yes. And he's just like, whoa, I got this, and I've stopped the jet. This one, like, it's only for a couple seconds, but there's a bit where he's like legitimately struggling to stop the jaws of the dinosaur. There's another bit where he's like really struggling, like he can't hold on to that door, and like maybe it's because of the kryptonite, I don't know, like you could probably give him a pass on that, but it's just things are so fucking hot and cold with this guy. He's the strongest person in the world. He's super susceptible. I don't get it.
It's kind of, I mean, we've talked a little bit about just like sometimes it's going to be whatever the scene calls for or whatever, but I'll say right. I'm trying to discuss this without spoilers because
good luck.
You'll be more mad later. Is all I'm gonna say.
I could have predicted that.
Yeah, well, when it comes to like the storytelling of like, oh, we got to make sure that the bad guy is like menacing and powerful, so he's got to fuck up Superman before Superman beats him. So there's going to be times where if you then think back on it, you can be like, why couldn't he have stopped him the first time? Oh, it's because the episode needed to do something or whatever. But it is a little bit annoying sometimes. I don't think there was much in this that messed with me in that regard, except for the bad guys like net guns or whatever that was. Like they had like a weird like restraint gun thing. And I was just laughing and I had no answer because he gets wrapped up in like a fetal position in the sky. Like his limbs are all like,
he's like a mummy
strapped. He's strapped to himself. And then he starts like falling out of the air a little bit. And you just go, how does he fly? And I just started laughing, and then you're like, does he need his arms and legs? And I just kept laughing because I don't have any answer. It's like,
I feel like we've seen his like I'm Superman flying pose. I think we've seen him a lot of times with his arms just down by his side. But he gets wrapped up and he's like, he's not running through the sky.
It's the cape. Yeah.
Oh, right.
He needs the cape to be flowing. Yeah. It's but also the aerodynamicness of the cape.
So the thing shoots him like a bunch of times, but like, why doesn't he just like flex and break out? the second they hit him, because how's that? It's rope. How's that a challenge?
It's really strong.
Oh,
I don't know.
God.
So besides that, my main problems with the episode happened with that scene is, I already expressed my, why did they test out the kryptonite theory in this extremely elaborate heist or whatever that could have got, it wasn't the Rock and now we're fucked kind of a thing, like the end.
Right.
The end of LexCorp forever. Also, there's 3 guys on jetpacks. Superman takes them out one by one, and the last guy for him to take out is the one that needs to make it to the building so that he can do the thing that Luthor told him to do. If he had taken out that guy first, then the whole thing would have crumbled and fallen apart, and again, LexCorp gone forever. So, and there's multiple other things, and they're just like, why did you put it so far away? What if, when Superman chooses to have super speed in strange moments, like he is trying to take down those nobody thieves in the museum at the start, and he's just whooshing around the room, freaking him out. But then when it comes to like, come over here, Superman, come take it from my hand under this dangling kryptonite, he just walks like a normal person over toward the guy. And I was like, if he just went over there, he could still probably get it and leave in similar super speed fashion before being like, oh, the kryptonite. So,
Or, for that matter, how about the guys on jetpacks? Like, why can't he just do his Tasmanian devil, tornado thing and like swoop them all up, throw them into the sea with that flaming helicopter and the end?
Drama. I don't know.
So this is my other thing. I'm complaining here. I'm complaining. I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody, but I think
we all understand.
Yeah, that's fair. The thing for me was and while bear with me, I think
there's a loud bird. There's like a squawking going on. Anyway, I don't think that was me. Headphones. Whatever, continue.
I think it's Billy. We have a Western scrub jay that lives in the property.
That's not a real thing.
We named it. Yeah, it's like you'd call it a blue jay probably.
An ostrich with a bone on its head lives in the backyard.
Cassowary?
Yeah, we know things.
So the thing for me is
you come here to learn.
I think I think that One Punch Man, it's so dumb because you're like, how could there possibly be a plot?
Yeah.
But they worked so hard on making a plot happen in that show that it's just the plot of the episode as soon as it starts because you know this guy, but they always make it entertaining. So I'm not immune to enjoying shows where people are super overpowered, but it's just that kind of something about the inconsistency of it gets me a bit.
Well, I think we might also be experiencing a little bit of the growing pains of first few episodes of Superman figuring out how to write the guy or whatever, similar to how we did with Batman, where we're I don't know what's going on yet. Because it also makes me, it's funny that we're having these discussions about Superman when, mostly because he's just presented to us as guy that can do whatever the fuck, he's Superman. Whereas Batman's big thing is always he did that because he's Batman, he's just so good at everything, and we sat there enjoying that the whole time and never had why the fuck could Batman do that? Why doesn't he just blah blah blah? Why didn't he just have this gun on him that he should have had or something like that? I don't know. Why does he just shoot the Joker? I don't understand. But yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see how that sort of discussion topic continues throughout the show because
same,
it'll be up and down. You mentioned, so you were saying you were thinking that the animation would do the same thing where it started off a little weak and then was fine the rest of the time. I'd say this was a little weaker than Fun and Games, but not by much. It just had a few moments of you laughed and pointed this out, but Professor Hamilton in the lab just going
his face was twitching back and forth.
His upper jaw, upper half of his face was just Canadian South Park charactering in the background, and only because it's in the most crisp, Blu-ray everything that we could see that for the first time. But and I mean that's how you saw the episode for the first time, so and there are a handful of other little things like that, but I think it was pretty solid for the most part. I would say the dinosaur, when the dinosaur was first in the intro, when it was on screen, you were saying like, there's some stuff in here that doesn't look as good. And I think that was your first example of that. I don't know if in the rest of the context of the episode, if you felt like the dinosaur was bad looking in general or not, but
no, I think it was fine. I think the thing for me was I was picking on the animation of similar, like a wide, like far away shot, and I think it was Lex on the museum steps, and like the art, just like the animation of him looked really sketchy in that same kind of like South Park Canadian
teeny tiny face
way.
on a flat body. Yeah.
I
think the dinosaur was funny to me because I forgot, like I haven't returned to this episode specifically in a while, and I forgot like what the dinosaur's deal was. Like obviously I knew it was going to come alive or whatever, but I was like, is this being controlled by someone? Is it like pre-programmed? You have some sort of tracking thing to know where Superman, what's its deal? I don't remember. And when it first turns on and then the doors all slam shut and it looks over its shoulder like, huh? The doors? That's weird. And I thought like, oh, so it has sentience, like it's aware of its surrounding. That's weird. And then in like 2 shots later, we just see Luthor at his desk with 2 like airplane CD-ROM game joysticks going like, do I move the dinosaur? Why did you look behind you? Why did you go, what's that over there? You know it's the doors.
Yeah, I don't know. Can we talk about that controller for a quick second? Yeah, because I also had the realization that like just before we see that shot of him smashing, he just loves smashing shit.
Yeah.
I guess all billionaires do. Like he smashes it, and I like had the realization. I'm like, oh, it looks like a PlayStation controller from like the late 90s.
Yeah.
He's just breaking
with
it in
2
half.
big red Atari sticks sticking out of it, I guess.
Yeah,
You also, like you said, that's a giant office when we first see like a wide shot of Luthor's. Because we saw it in the first episode, but it was like pretty in close up or whatever. And then I don't think it was as big in that first episode either, because when Superman flies away at the end, he's yelling at him. It looked pretty normal size, but yeah, it's like this gargantuan, like it's like Bruce Wayne's living room.
Yeah,
where there's just a teeny tiny desk in the middle.
It is a desk in the middle of a football field kind of thing.
Well, and then I was like, yeah, that's normal. That's how I expect this room to look. And then he goes over and opens his window, and the entire like upper floor of the building. Yeah, just like a big mouth on the side of the building opens up or something.
It's similarly Canadian South Park characters
it really
open,
is, and
then everybody on the whole top half of the building like slams against the windows of one side.
Yeah, the inertia just shoots them all to. Oh, I'm sorry, I had to talk to Superman. Yeah, it's his fault. He came here.
I just let him into my house, despite the fact that I have no defense against the guy. But it's fine.
Yeah,
we were gonna kiss. We had our faces real close. We kind of booped noses, but he didn't kill me, so that's good.
Their faces were they were overlapping by a few pixels, and you were like, kiss. And it was like, they had boop noses, yeah.
Kiss him.
I do like you pointed out in that moment, the dialogue is like, I have a proposition for you. I'm listening, says Superman. And then he's like, here's my entire plan. And he's like, I don't make deals with criminals. You just said you were going to.
I've got a deal to make with you, Superman. I am willing to hear out your deal.
Yeah, it depends
How about
on what
this?
It is. Yeah.
I do not make deals.
Psych. That's the wrong number. Yeah.
when you
Superman and Luthor in a rap battle together.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I want you to make that a TikTok, and with that whole "psych it's the wrong number" thing, like just superimpose Superman, Superman impose Superman over the dude in the center
Bada
of that
boom,
group of people.
Bing, boom, pow. Whoa! Oh, damn it, Superman, you got me again. Yeah. Superman flies away. I'm not a rapper.
It's just such a weird man, and like the intimidation, I know they probably like must have used the inspiration of like a boxer weigh-in thing where the guys are like face to face or like boxing, like publicity poster match things, whatever.
Yeah,
I can English, but yeah, there's the whole like Superman is like, what was it, like Luthor's nose is kind of in that negative space of Superman's nose and chin. It's just like Superman could just like right on the tip
I don't
of
make
his
deals
nose.
with criminals. And then zooms away in one
but I'll
frame.
But I'll make an exception for you, sugar.
For you, Telly Savalas from James Bond movie.
Let's go get some orange juice and chicken soup. It'll make us feel better.
And tea with lemon, don't forget.
Tea with lemon. How could I forget?
Let's talk about the cast of this episode.
My God, let's.
Tim Daly as Superman / Clark Kent. Dana Delaney as Lois Lane. Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor. We have John Rubinstein as Peterson, blonde scientist man. Oh, I'm working with Lois Lane. This is his only DCAU acting credit. He played
Because he gets killed on the way home. We didn't talk about that.
What? Oh, yeah, I guess so.
This is his last acting credit, and Luthor is all like, hate for something terrible to happen to you on your way home that my driver is going to do to you.
He played Albert Einstein in one episode of Legends of Tomorrow, which was a CWDC show full of B-level characters.
CWDC show about B-level characters.
Yeah, you got it.
Can you say any more letters, please?
DCAU.
Sick.
He's been in a ton of stuff, but almost all things I'd never heard of. So there you go.
Nice.
John Gary as Haynes, who was the other scientist that's like, this is from a difference, not the periodic table,
okay.
blah, blah,
Yep.
blah. He only ever acted in 21 things. His first acting credit was in the movie Mystic Pizza as Car Guy. Then he was in one episode of the Swamp Thing TV show as Reverend Wilford, which I didn't know there was a Swamp Thing TV show, so that's cool. He's also had bit parts in Two Stupid Dogs, Goosebumps, Dexter's Laboratory, Hey Arnold, Extreme Ghostbusters, Angry Beavers, Invader Zim, Avatar, and An American Tale, The Mystery of the Night Monster. Which I had
seen that one.
Yeah, I had to look that up. Apparently, that's the 4th American Tale movie. I didn't even know there were 3. So there you go.
Yep.
He also is voiceover / narration in the video game South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Who was he in that?
I don't know. He's a voiceover narration guy. I don't know. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver and Too Many Cooks.
Fuck.
It's a good one.
Too many cooks.
This is not even on the periodic table, he said. Brad Garrett as Bibbo. He said one line. Oh, Soups, you don't look so good. I'm here. I'm Bibbo to say the same thing everyone else said. Tom Wilson as Joey. He was previously Tony Zuko in Robin's Reckoning. He's Biff in Back to the Future stuff. Scott Valentine as Sam. He was previously Raymond Bell in Feet of Clay, who Batman shish kebabbed on the Batwing in his car. And the chemist in Batgirl Returns, who's like, I'm a big teeth guy in the bar. I got sunglasses, big teeth. We got Lisa Edelstein as Mercy Graves, who was Lex Luthor's chauffeur bodyguard lady.
Oh, okay. Mercy Graves.
Yeah. She plays Kaya in Legend of Korra, who was Aang's daughter of the
Korra
three
of Legend
children.
of Kaya.
Trying to Aang, DCAU. Ally McBeal, she was a character named Cindy McAuliffe. I've never watched that, but that was the thing, so she did. Karen, one of George's many girlfriends for a couple episodes of Seinfeld. But her big thing was Dr. Lisa Cuddy on House, who was like the owner of the hospital, the big manager of the hospital.
You know, I didn't watch enough of that show.
It's a good show, mostly.
I mean, it seemed good, but it also seemed like it's just pretty much always the same plot.
It kind of, yeah. I had seen an episode when it was first airing that seemed like this really cool, dramatic, like season cliffhanger kind of deal. And then that happens in like the second season, and then there's like 6 more seasons or something. And I'm like, oh, yep, I guess it kind of just peaked and keep going.
It's always like, you know, they're going through and
someone's sick
stuff, and someone's sick. We don't know what it is.
I know what it is. Yeah.
Hello, Rose.
That's DVD and Blu-ray.
DVD and Blu-ray.
Welcome to the pod. We have Victor Brandt as Professor Hamilton, who has the flappy head in the lab. He played General Crozier in Metalocalypse. I've never watched that, but that was a big character of his.
Jamie.
I know.
You know what? Actually, no. I'm not going to give you help for that. That's not really your speed.
It
more my
looks
speed.
funny. It looks funny, and I think I've seen maybe an episode or two, but I have no memory of what happened. He's Master Paku in Avatar, who was the waterbending teacher at the tribe place. Is like, hey,
He's
old
a dick.
and I'm an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rupert Thorne in The Batman 2004 cartoon.
Rupert Murdoch?
Rupert Murdoch. He is Agent K, Tommy Lee Jones's character in Men in Black, the video game. And he was apparently the narrator in the 2003 Mike Myers Cat in the Hat movie. Okay. So I was like, all right, cool. Next time I'm not watching that movie, I'll know it was Professor Hamilton.
Dude, I'm pissed at Will Smith.
Speaking of Men in Black 10 minutes ago. Yeah, why?
I don't know. It's probably not worth getting into. It's just, like
I'm just
so
mad at Will Smith.
There's so many of those movies were just, they're not necessarily good movies, but I had some fondness for even Hitch was silly but good, and I liked iRobot.
Yeah.
And Men in Black was awesome.
Yeah.
But then now it's
Independence
just
Day.
anything. Oh yeah. But anything he's in now, I'm just I don't want to fucking watch Will Smith.
It's what was that movie he did a couple of years ago where he's himself as a younger man and himself normal? Gemini Man or something like that. I never watched it. It was filmed and presented in 60 or 120 frames a second or something like that, and everyone was coming out of the theater puking because they're I can't stand this or whatever. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna watch that. We had Tress McNeil as tour guide, lady going, hey, these cups were from the ancient Babylonians or whatever. She was previously woman in Time Out of Joint, falling down the stairs.
God.
And Miss Stevenson in Last Son of Krypton. I think she'll pop up a lot, so I'm going to continue being previously woman in Time Out of Joint. And last we have Yuji Okamoto as security guard, only DCAU acting credit. I think that might have been the guy that's I wish the things that were here before were here.
Oh, right.
He played Chosen in the Cobra Kai TV series and Karate Kid 2, which I'm not familiar with, but that was a thing he did.
Sweet.
Okay?
Good for him.
Listener, you know Chosen from Karate Kid.
Nope.
Thank you, listener. Thank you, Dylan Pollock. Right in if you know Chosen with a Z, even like Kasnia sometimes. I got mini trivs. I'll give you the mini trivs. Okay.
Give me the trivs.
When Mercy is at the third checkpoint observing Superman pursue Joey, the sign for the LexCorp waterfront towers says LexCord instead of LexCorp. Well, it went by so fast we couldn't have possibly read that. Commissioner Jones tells Joey that upon hearing the fire alarm, all the exits, entrances, stairs, and elevators were shut down. This would trap all people inside the building, and the general protocol when there's a fire is that exits are left open to allow people to escape. What do you think of that very opinionated triv there, Brian?
Yeah, that checks out. That'd be the dumbest thing in the world. There's a fire! Lock everybody in!
Yeah, how did they think they got up there in the first place? We've been here on the roof by ourselves waiting for the helicopter for an hour, and then the helicopter arrived. Now they're these guys. Oh, but the doors are locked. Oh, they have jetpacks? I wasn't so surprised.
Holy shit. Wait a minute. Was there an additional pilot, or was one of those three the pilot?
That's a good. Maybe the pilot blowed up in the explosions. They shoot a rocket or something at the. What are they shoot somehow the helicopter?
Oh, it was the flamethrower, or maybe it blew up when the pile of guns blew up or something. I don't remember.
I guess maybe the guys that got out of there with the briefcase full of paper said or were flying it. I guess I don't know.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't the bad guy. I feel like I need to rewatch that scene. I don't recall any of it. I don't know. My brain shut off.
So the three guys that get out of the helicopter, there's a mustachioed man that talks to the commissioner. There's another guy that I don't remember what he looks like. And then the third guy has a center part black hair and a black mustache. That character model of that guy shows up in a Justice League Unlimited episode in a speaking role as a police chief 400 episodes from now, and I'm why would you use that guy? So every time that I see him get out of the helicopter here, I'm hey, it's that guy for 2 seconds.
Future police chief.
He got promoted after the helicopter exploded.
He did such a good job robbing shit that now he's police chief.
Such a good job immediately throwing his gun to the ground when they said to do it.
Actually, you know what? Maybe that checks out.
Yeah. This episode was packaged with 3 others we won't get to for a while on DVD as Superman A Little Piece of Home in October 2004, including the special feature A Little Piece of Home selectable trivia track, otherwise known as A Little Piece of Trivia, which featured pop-up notes with factoids about the series. It incorrectly refers to Lisa Edelstein as Linda Edelstein, and it incorrectly mentions Teen Titans as part of the DCAU. It was interns, you know? They don't know what they're doing.
Does it? Does that mean that Teen Titans is not canon?
Correct.
It means that it is canon?
No, what
Like,
you said. No, what you said.
But they say.
No, it's
but they
wrong.
say.
It's wrong.
I just want to watch Teen Titans.
Well, we can talk about it.
Hell
you
yeah.
don't. Per the audio commentary, the producers considered having Superman give the giant dinosaur to Batman as a nod to the giant dinosaur that classically stands in the Batcave in the comics, though they ultimately decided not to. Yeah, well, I don't think we see it ever in BTAS, but there's a big dinosaur in there.
What?
So, in the Batcave. Well, yeah, you'll see it eventually.
Okay.
We didn't see it in there. That's all the trips because there's little baby trips. Keen effects.
Little baby chiz for little baby me.
Little baby. Friend.
I do want to point out a keen effect that just registered today.
Oh, okay.
I really like the glow and how they zoom in on Superman's chest at the very end of the intro.
Oh, in the intro, yeah. That's one of the 2 or 3 shots total in that are like made for the intro.
Yeah. And I was just like, wow, you know what? That's actually, they did a good like glow on that.
Well, I think the glows on most stuff and like that kind of airbrushy, I don't know, back and forth frames of like this thing is glowing is always pretty well done. The capsule thing that Luthor looks down at, he's like, the kryptonite's in here in my lab, very good. Is kind of Mr. Freeze helmet airbrushed in a way, and it was cool looking. I don't know. There wasn't anything super standout. There was hay coming out of the guy's jetpacks.
Jetpack? That was so funny.
The little sparks that you're like, why did they leave?
Oh, those sparks? Because it looked like they had the like.
I guess. Yeah,
like
they're
the
just
fall
they're
of like
hay
a feather.
powered.
Yeah.
Keep shoveling hay in there as they go.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like the watery fire stuff that was shot out at Superman. Lots of like flamethrowers in this episode.
Yeah, that was cool. We didn't talk at all about when the thieves come up out of the ground into the museum, and then the next time we see Superman, he's flying into the sewer. And you made the comment of like, he's not doing anything to do with the guys. He's just going in I need to go into the sewer now. I need to check out how the sewer's doing. Oh yeah, the guys.
I'm just going to go down in the sewer and check out some poop. Oh, there's a hole in the ceiling.
Oh yeah, I was doing something, wasn't I? Yeah, I don't know. It was fine. Books or hip hop this episode?
Books.
Yeah, books.
Sweet.
Let's do the Balderarchy. Now, I did not pre-program in the song yet because I'm trying to make it get with Jordan Blumen, whatever you want to be called, to do the mouth trumpet sounds. So I haven't had that fully created yet. But I think our baldness hierarchy candidates, the antagonist candidates, would be Lex Luthor. Is that it? No, Joey. And Dinosaur? I think Dinosaur is the same as Lexo Skell 5000, where it's piloted by a guy, so it doesn't count.
Oh, man, I'd vote for the Dinosaur in a heartbeat.
Well, maybe the Dinosaur has some level of sentience because it looked behind itself. I don't know. It's like a guy's controlling me, but I'm trying to do my own thing. Please, just let me leave. I did what you asked. I put the rock in my mouth. Can I go home now, please?
Look, I'm from Krypton. It was really hard for me to hold that rock in my mouth the whole time.
I'm the dinosaur from Krypton. Yeah. I mean, Joey had a very like buzz cut, nothing hair, but he still had hair. So I think Luthor, I guess, wins the Balder.
I think Luthor is going to win this like 100% of the time.
You would think that, wouldn't you?
Yep.
Do we place this on the top 10 this episode?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Under, is it on? What was it beneath or above on these things?
I'm going to put this actually at number 2.
Ooh, you liked it better than the Toy Man episode.
I did like it better than Toy Man.
Wait, why? Tell me why. Tell me why.
I think So despite all of my complaining about it, I think it's cool to put some like not so arbitrary boundaries on Superman and give it just like a little bit more like something to be concerned about.
There was a reason why he had a tough time this episode instead of just like, cuz big duck big, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think this is better than Toyman episode. It also just kind of had a little, like, I enjoy Superman and Lex Luthor having their little spats in his office and such. All right. What do we do next here on this here show that we are doing?
You tell me, man. I'm just talking to this microphone until you tell me to shut up.
That's true. Until we get off the call and you're not allowed to talk to me anymore.
Yeah.
I think I'll mention now, I should have mentioned it way sooner, but we have a little buy me a coffee thing going.
Oh,
that's linked. I've been saying it at the ends of episodes in the pre-recorded thingy, but there's a link in the description of the episodes. It's buymeacoffee.com/Yoppie with 2 P's, YOPPIE, PP. And they don't give, when I was setting up the page, they don't give you an option of like, you put your name and then it says is, and then you're supposed to describe like what you do. Just like Patreon, but Patreon gives you the option of doing R instead of is. This one doesn't. So it's Yoppie Dudes is podcasting and blasting is what I put. That's what it says at the top. So what this is very just simple way for if you feel like supporting the show, you can literally just buy us a coffee by sending $5, $10, whatever you decide. I put Yoppie Bev instead of coffee because Brian, he likes his tea.
That's true.
It's a little emoji of a teacup. And if you put your name in there or your username or whatever you want to do, we'll give you a shout out at the start of the episode. Oh, you know, I'm drinking this Yoppie Bev provided by blah, 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 Tip Tapricot, you know?
I love that.
No pressure to Tip Tapricot to do this or anything like that, but I'm just saying. Your name and stuff.
You know, I understand there's like Patreon supporters for Watchtower and all that. But let me tell you, listeners, a little would go a long way. Because at this point in time, we're making how many cents per episode?
Yeah, we get like a $4 total at the end of the month or something. Just if you feel like you're like, oh man, I really want to support these guys, but Patreon is like for Watchtower Database. You know, do the Yoppie Bev. Send us a Yoppie Bev in the link in the description. Okay. You can also still buy a Yoppie Dude T-shirt down there too if you want.
True. Look, all the things. Just go to that description and unload your entire paycheck.
Yes, just put all of your money from your entire bank account in there. And then we'll be like, thanks, we'll say your name. It's the least we can do. Yeah.
We'll just get on, like, I'll make some postcards and we'll just start sending out postcards.
Yeah, dear Tip Tapricot specifically, because I know you did this. When we come back from the mail, I tell Brian the name of the next episode and he tries to guess what it's about. But for right now, we're going to...
That yop. That one small extra yop, put it over.
We drop
What we drop?
our weekly yops
Oh yeah, those.
into the comment box. First, there sure was a lot.
Now Jamie's mad.
Too bad we're all
At least I am.
just Dylan Pollock.
You didn't make a harmony.
I didn't. I thought, I can't do that every time. I can't lock myself into what I did before where I have to sing the entire, here's the mail, and it was so long ago.
That's true.
It's like a whole year ago. If you would like to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of the Cat in the Claw Part 2, email us at batwagonpod@gmail.com.
And then go send us a coffee thing.
And send us a coffee thing. That'll just somewhere in there. You should not spoil anything for Brian, okay? That's all.
Okay.
I'm trying to reword this into a smaller version and I forgot to do it. So I was just kind of, I was just going with the flow, just ad-libbing.
You
like
don't
those
do that.
Friggin' liberals. Hate 'em.
Ad-liberaling.
This is from Ryan Hip. Last son, Yop. Don't know the cutoff for these things, but hopefully this can go with the fun and games, Yop. If not, oopsie.
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 James, Jamie, Jimmy, Jimbo.
That's me.
I cannot believe you would forget the name of beloved television icon Nick Freno, licensed teacher. What the fuck fuck is wrong with you? Hi. So
What?
I've been listening to the show as I'm going on walks, and I'm still in Batman, like 40, 50, 60 something episodes in the past, but I'm the sick monkey who thinks Superman's the best of the DCAU. And I've been rewatching it a lot recently.
Nice.
I just wanted to see what Brandon or whatever the fuck his name is thought of Superman, and it sounds like he's liking it, which is good. So yeah. Anyway,
I'm Brandon.
Here's Wonderwall.
I realized what he's talking about is I explained that the first 3 episodes was like a big giant premiere and that it was hosted by some random I'm a WB TV show character guy, like live action guy. I guess that's who that was. I don't know that guy. I was 5, okay? Leave me alone. This is from Dylan Pollock. Must be read entirely in baby voice.
No,
just
that's
the
okay.
ittiest, bittiest, tiny widow
Dylan,
swivel
why?
of home for Widow Superman. Here we go.
It's time for the thoughts of the week from Dylan Pollock on A Little Piece of Home, or Home is Where the Hurt Is. Why did the adult man, I don't remember which one of the thieves' names it was, get scared sneaking to the museum seeing the T-Rex?
Yeah.
Has he never seen a statue before or been in a museum? Does he think Jesus is actually petrified in Brazil in that giant statue? I don't know. It was just weird. Clark at the diner. That is the worst someone has looked on a date since I had violent diarrhea while at Taco Bell. And that's like adding dynamite to a bomb already, people. Also, nice to see Tony Zuko is back and he got a jetpack, which feels like it rhymes enough that it should for some reason be the title of this episode. Another thing I'm curious for, in this world, why does Lex actually have giant lifting office windows that for some reason open up like a whole floor of the building? It seems very dangerous. But enough about that. It's time for the question of the week, James's favorite part. If you two had Superman's powers, what would be the best way to get yourself rich with them? You know, because hustle culture and all that, and who cares about your justice and a better tomorrow anymore? Whatever. Make that money.
I mean, I guess if I didn't have to hide them, like if I could just do whatever, you could probably sell tickets to like fly people around.
Oh, yeah.
You could just be like, would you like to experience flight? Yeah, yes. Everyone said yes. And then you take them into the sky. Yeah.
I mean, you could even do like a attraction kind of ride thing where you like basically set up a big airbag and you lift people up in the sky and you just drop them.
Just drop them on there. And if you kill a couple people, whatever, you still made a bunch of money. Yeah.
I think my superpower would be Superman's money ray vision, and I just shoot money out of my eyes.
Shoot money. What someone brought up.
So you didn't say no, so I'm guessing that's absolutely one of his powers, because at this point in time it could be anything.
So it gets worse than that. I was going to say not in the DCAU. They keep it pretty like simple. We've seen most of them already, but there is an old like 50s comic book where Superman, that era of comics, people were just writing him do whatever the fuck. There's one where he shoots smaller versions of himself out of his hands. And it's my favorite go-to, like, what the fuck thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I don't know.
And what do they do? Do they shoot smaller versions of themselves?
I think they just have all of his normal powers and they're just like extras. I don't really know.
Tiny me.
Wasn't there, you've seen the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. Yeah. There's 4 of them, though. I don't know if you've seen all of them.
I've seen...
There's 4 American Tail movies, too, apparently. The second one, he defeats Zod and co. by ripping off like a cellophane version of his S and throwing it across the room, then like enlarges and wraps around them, which was never shown to be a thing that he could do before.
I don't recall that, but that sounds right.
In the 4th one, I think, he looks at the Great Wall of China after it's been like burst apart and it like rebuilds itself. Like he has like a re-bricking vision.
Hell yeah.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
So Dylan, money vision.
Yeah. Money vision.
Not the strangest thing. And you were right.
Ooh, this is from Kate Tastic. No subject. Attached, I have provided a highly detailed report on my preconceived notions of Brian's appearance. It is very small stick figures. I think you're the one on the far left, the tall one. You just got a big giant beard and a big like Johnny Bravo hair.
Oh, beard.
Yeah, you have a down to your waist beard.
I had a goatee once, but I generally, not that you'd can tell now, but I'm usually pretty clean shaven.
I'm like half your height in a Batman costume, and then next to me is Dylan in that big wide brim Joker hat. That's what you look like. Scotty Cameron, Kryptonite. Hey, Yoppie dudes, great show as always. So are we ready to get the introduction of Kryptonite? I apologize for quoting a Lex Luthor that was played by a Predator. Oh, yeah, cool. The guy, Alien Versus. I've said Kryptonite that way since my parents rented that boring Superman movie from Blockbuster in 2006. So Lex Luthor just had a random radiated green rock in his museum and didn't bother to investigate its capabilities until he saw it weaken Superman on surveillance footage. What's Lex do with the kryptonite? Build a kryptonite-powered warsuit? Make a kryptonite necklace? Nope, he has a robot dinosaur kill Superman in the museum where the kryptonite is just out on the open so Lois and Superman can put it in lead. Kansan is the proper term for someone who lives in or is from Kansas. Jayhawkers were a group of militant abolitionists from Kansas during the Civil War era who raided Missouri slave plantations during the events of Bleeding Kansas, not to be confused with KU's mascot for other sports teams, the Jayhawks. Okay. Missouri had the bushwhackers who terrorized Kansas to prevent Jayhawker raids, and the border ruffians who illegally voted in Kansas elections to make Kansas a slave state. Wonderful. There's some Kansas and Missouri history for Brian. I hope he likes it. I don't like it at all. I don't think Brian likes it either. Why did you tell us this? I notice how Brian watches 85 episodes and a movie where Batman wears his undies on the outside of his costume and it doesn't faze him, but Superman does it and Brian loses his mind. I don't think Brian ever expressed a specific complaint about the trunks. You just said, why does Superman wear a bright costume? And everyone took that as, hey, Brian, excuse me, the underwear has a purpose. Like they're jumping to defend this. I don't think you ever actually did this.
But I will. Why does he wear, that's stupid. No one should wear underwear.
No one should ever wear underwear. Most of these superheroes were created in the 40s and 50s. Comic artists of the time drew inspiration from strong men who wore trunks outside of their pants. I will say, when I get past disc 1 of STAS, I'm going to see a lot of episodes I haven't seen before, because when I got season 1 and 2 of STAS back in November of last year, I only watched the popular episodes or ones that featured superheroes from other sectors of the DC universe. Stay Yoppie, Scotty. Well, I hope you enjoy the upcoming stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Hip again, I'll let it slide because you barely didn't get in last time. Little piece of yop. If you play this the one I sent for last time as well as this one, then sweet. If not, that's another oopsie because I mentioned it in this one. I keep ruining everything. I don't know what I'm doing. Pretend I'm Brian Adams and please forgive me.
I'd like to apologize to Mr. Broderick for the message I sent last time. Of course, I remember your name. You're my favorite character on the show, Red Wine Drunk, and I'm a huge fan.
Red Wine Drunk.
I especially loved you in Inspector Gadget. God, I hope that one lands. So, a little piece of yop. The episode where Superman faces his most deadly enemy. Not Lex, not Kryptonite, not that dinosaur thing, but a flying Biff Tannen with a fucking briefcase. Ooh, look out, Superman. Better make like a tree and get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I'm listening to this. I'm fucking recording this on the day of the Fun and Games episode, and that's the same day that I finally made it to the Cape and Cow conspiracy episode of Cars Coming By, and which is kind of freaky because that means that Bud Court is now in session. Okay, that's my time. Bye.
Damn. Yeah, I was gonna say those crickets are going crazy in the background.
It's Brain, not Brian, in Inspector Gadget.
He was talking about your impression of the claw that you did.
What?
See, I remember these things.
Oh my God.
Jacob Alvarado. No, Dylan, I will not give you my feet pics. Hello, Yoppie people, Jackal and Brain. There you go.
Oh, well, I guess I am Brain. Fuck.
It's Jackal and the Brain. On this episode of Superman, we learn about kryptonite. As I've gotten older, I find it kind of sad how parts of Superman's home planet literally poison him. It's unfortunate. Also, I get that this is a kid's show, but Superman crushing the exhaust on someone's jetpack and crushing someone's jetpack while it's on their back would kill them or severely burn them. Get it together, Soupy. Did Lois fall asleep while on the phone with Peterson? Her eyes were shut for so long. Shit. That. Is this episode now Jurassic Park? An all right episode for our intro to Just the Tip tonight. I hope you all have a fine week. Yop and away. Yeah. Daniel Barnhart. Kryptonite is real? Hello, James and Brian. I was researching the real-world origin of kryptonite to get ready for the podcast. I expected to find the well-known story of how kryptonite was introduced on the Superman radio show. However, I found something more intriguing. Apparently, in 2007, these Serbian miners found a new mineral, but they had trouble identifying its composition, so they enlisted the help of their own Dr. Hamilton. After he analyzed it, he uncovered the composition of sodium, lithium, boron, silicate hydroxide. In a strange coincidence, a year later, this composition was on the label for kryptonite in the movie Superman Returns. James, I see a future episode of Willie Cannon. As for the episode A Little Piece of Home, I thought it was cool when Lois ordered Clark chicken noodle soup. The next scene is Thomas Wilson's character, who played Biff in Back to the Future. This made me think of the parallel between Michael J. Fox and Thomas Wilson, where Michael delivers the unforgettable line, "Nobody calls me chicken." I hope this makes up for last week when you guys didn't get my Black Adam joke. Sincerely, Daniel Farner. That's all right. Kyle, Kael, Kyle. Kryptonite Preservation Society. Hello, we are the Kryptonite Preservation Society, or KPS. Our goal is to collect, catalog, and preserve all the kryptonite we can. Unfortunately, that's harder to do than we thought it would be, as we have yet to actually acquire any kryptonite for our museum. One day. For now, we do our best to at least catalog all the specimens that we see, and much to our surprise, these Superman files appear to have quite a lot. If we would have known that, we would have moved our museum to Metropolis ages ago. Clearly better pickings than Oregon has. On that subject, we shall now give you our description of the kryptonite. Size, a head. Color, green. Current location, in the lead Babylonian cup in space. Honestly, whomever Luthor hired as his curator should be fired. The Babylonians didn't fade out because of lead poisoning, but because of invasions from outside forces and internal dissatisfaction with the ruling class. The cup in question is probably Roman in origin, as their ruling class did extensively suffer from lead poisoning. Previously from probably a city on Krypton. I mean, look at it. Vibe, Macarena, Bayside Boys Mix, Los Del Rio. Okay. Note, we are attempting to contact Dr. Popov in order to acquire any kryptonite he may have recovered during the course of his excavation, yet have only received laughing while crying emoji in reply, which is highly unprofessional. Still, we'll keep trying. Until next time, Kyle, founder, curator, and director of operations at the Kryptonian Preservation Society. Wow, we got a lot of characters popping up for Superman. Like LexCorp Cares and all that. Lanola Cola, A Little Piece of Home, or Tug on the Super Cape, Green Rocks and Soups. Bienvenue, Brian and James. This is Lanola Cola, straight out of the Podtower comment section and into the Bat-Wagon pod mailbox.
Woo-hoo.
Welcome. Figured I'd try my hand at sending emails to you, and hey, this episode is the source of the "Don't Forget That" soundbite for the Watchtower database intro. Now that's keen. Yes. Speaking of keen, that chase between Superman and the jetpack thieves and Lex's chauffeur, Mercy. The music has major Cowboy Bebop / Bullet for Bullock vibes. Yeah, we didn't talk about that at all. Very jazzy music, yeah. And Mercy, boy, I absolutely fell in love with her swagger and toughness. Rest in peace to the speed bag. Not so keen was the opening theft to introduce the kryptonite. I get that they're small-time thieves, but those two guys couldn't afford ski masks or even hosiery to hide their faces. And then they're out of the episode. They could have been made into / replaced with the two compatriots from the jetpack gang. Even more unkeen was Superman throwing the lead cup with the kryptonite out of Earth's orbit, because one, that's getting rid of a relic from an indigenous culture. Yeah, that happened 5 times. And two, they couldn't have Superman deliver it to Star Labs for further research. That part of the ending actually infuriated me. Well, that's all from me on this ep. Stay tuned for more Tug on the Super Cape. Yeah, okay, so your segment can be called Tug on the Super Cape, but the show is still Jump on the Bat-Wagon, okay? Oh, yeah, I got an email from Stitcher being like, hey, Stitcher is not going to exist anymore in a week. So I thought that was funny. You spent the first several weeks of this podcast being like, Jamie, you got to get it on Stitcher. That's what I use. And I was just like, we're not real. Eric LeBeau. Hey, James and Brian, I'm glad you guys got a laugh out of the jingle I came up with. I'm catching up on the podcast steadily. I've made it up to episode 37 between the posting of the last Son of Krypton episode and now. We'll probably be much further by the time you guys read this. That's good.
Yeah,
it's been so nice to listen to these as I job hunt because it helps keep my anxiety down. So I want to thank you all so much for doing this and giving me a backlog to listen through. Yeah, Brian, you get it.
I just spent the last year doing a pretty intense job hunt.
Yeah.
My heart
not
goes
listening
out
to
you.
Jump on the Bat-Wagon though.
Sometimes when I was doing chores around the house and complaining that I don't have a new job.
Yeah.
Wonderful company.
Yeah, hearing your own self. Also, I'm the same Eric LeBeau who technically won your guys' Watchtower database meme contest with my The Office Batsuit meme. Thanks for the digital copy of Justice League versus Redacted. Keep calm and yop on. That's cool. I'm glad that was you. We got a new review on Apple Podcasts.
Woohoo!
This is from Zarif. Relentless fun, 5 stars. James and Brian are a great pair of hosts that can continuously keep listeners entertained with their banter, random shenanigans, and the added experience of discussion about one of the best written and animated fictional universes. The podcast offers 2 great perspectives, with one host, James, being an avid fan of the DCAU, while the other, Brian, is a newcomer to the series. I thought he was going to say something much more mean. Well, Brian is an idiot. With Brian's lack of experience with any of these shows, he offers a unique perspective as he does not hold back any criticism with the show. This makes it a refreshing experience when it often feels like only the great things about the DCAU are discussed, though his genuine praise is not an infrequent occurrence and is enjoyable to see what he gives it to. No episode has left me unsatisfied and have been great thing to listen to whenever I have the free time or need something to listen to. Needless to say, you should get up on the Bat-Wagon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's super sweet.
This. By the way, we're up 1 point in TV Reviews Mexico. Woohoo! This is from Dino-Faced Individual. Comment submitted by Dr. PP. Comment removed by the moderation team under suggestion by Redacted Corporation. Dr. Gordon B. Peterson has been missing for 10 days. If any users have info on Peterson and his whereabouts, please send it to the website of the hit TV show Cold Case Queries, hosted by Bob. Jesus Christ. It's true.
Yeah.
He never comes back. Yeah. Jordan Newman, GCN Musical Minute, but in text form. I'm moving in with Summer Glee, my girlfriend, and was too busy to remember to record this week. So, Jazzman, this week you are Jack Ryder. Okay. Trump says trumpet noises. I don't remember the new jingle. I'll do the old one. You're listening to the Gotham Insider, bringing you hard-hitting investigations from the field. I'm Jack Ryder, reporting from Metropolis, where Superman fails to stop a few goons from robbing a museum. Like he just didn't stop them? I'm confused. Last week, this guy was flying around and punching giant ducks that go, whoa. So what happened? Did he have a long night? Hungover? Was the rubber duck thing an elaborate hoax and it turns out this is just some guy? Stay tuned. Now over to the music. Jazz! Love the jazzy theme for Biff, and especially love it when it cuts to halftime while Biff is beating up Superman aided by Kryptonite. Never apologize for loving your fandom and try to stay optimistic. Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you. Good luck moving.
Last email, we have Keen Machine. Superman episode 6. Oh no, green space rock bad. Keep it keen. That's the entire email. Thank you so much, Keen. Let's real quick do some comments from last episode, which was episode 88, Fun and Games, or Step Bruno Rimmed with Windows. This is from, oh my God, get to the bottom of the page, please. Tip Tapricon, all caps. It's Wednesday. The music this episode was really good, and the action sequences were fun, and it was a cool way to introduce Kryptonite, and Lois had fun banter, and yay. Thank you.
Well done.
Actually touching. I think of Brian as the toy man of this podcast, and James as his toy boy. In all seriousness, you got that giant beard, yeah. In all seriousness, though, it's important to be serious when discussing toy-based cartoon villains. I love the S-Test version of Toyman. As a kid, I found him creepy yet fascinating, but it was years before I realized the mask was not his face. The character design and voice work strike the perfect balance between childishness and creepiness. Now, on the subject of Brian's confusion over Superman's powers, I'm curious to know what a man of science, a scientist, such as Professor That's Not How It Works Broderick, would make of Superman's original power set. In his earliest appearances, his powers were much simpler. He simply had super strength, speed, durability, and the ability to leap great distances. Flying didn't come in until later. They even had attempted to root him in some level of science, saying that Kryptonians were thousands of years more evolutionarily advanced than humans, comparing their abilities to those of Earth insects like ants and grasshoppers. Finally, congratulations to Brian on his impressive winning streak when it comes to predicting the plot of S-TAS episodes.
Thank you.
A more cynical man might suspect that foul play is afoot, but if you can't trust your Yoppie dudes, who can you trust?
Right.
I haven't been giving Brian shit. He's just good at guessing, except for the next one that he's already guessed wrong for. Evil Banana Man says, not okay.
Oh, there he is again.
Oh, man, he's boo. There's not a boo button. Zane Beatty, I suppose the "That's Not How That Works" becomes the tune of the Superman intro, and the words are sometimes that how that works, sometimes how that works. I don't know which part of the Superman theme that's supposed to be to, but yeah, there you go. If you liked the jazz in A Bullet for Bullock, this Superman episode is for you. Lastly, should the new smoke bomb be up, up, and away? Yeah, big old whoosh is pretty good, though.
I like big old whoosh.
Charles Motosierra, regarding Lil Piece of Home, how funny would it have been if the cup was made of some mercury alloy and they only found out as Superman was killed by the dinosaur? Also, we get Mercy's first appearance. Yay! Being the driver, secretary, enforcer to Jeff Daggett Fisk has got to be one of the shittiest jobs ever. I hope her salary is good. Jack of the Cards. Hello, I recently discovered this podcast. I'm currently still working my way through the BTAS episodes on Spotify.
You'll be there for a while.
Sorry about that. I just wanted to leave a short message of you guys are hilarious, and I kind of want to do something similar with a friend of mine. That's all. Stay Yoppie. Thank you so much,
Sweet.
Jack. Old King Cole, the Superman trunks were originally added to his costume. Yeah, Brian, you idiot. Why were you so mad about the trunks specifically?
Oh my God, I didn't realize they didn't look so, they weren't stupid looking.
Derek the Bloke, don't worry, bunk bonk. I also try to capitalize numbers. We can just be stupid together.
Oh, thank God I'm not the only one.
Someone else out there.
I appreciate
Batgirl
you.
Fangirl, welcome back to the pod. Commissioner Jones looked so surprised when Joey flew away with his buddies with those jetpacks. He does live in a city with a flying man after all. That explosion in the opening titles, the one where Lex pounds down on the Joker remote control, looks kind of familiar. Yeah, I think that's the Toyman explosion in the opening.
Oh, we're supposed to look for that.
I know. I don't think there was one in this, though. Because I don't think anything exploded. Even when the robot dinosaur, he just kind of fell apart. I've just moved home recently, and so this is the first opportunity I've had to binge watch STAS up to this point. Listen to all the podcasts. I'm so loving this. It's wonderful so far. The animation, the music, the action, the humor. It's really well done. Can't wait to watch more in the air date order, of course. I've been itching to watch STAS. It's been sitting on my shelf for a few months now, but I was determined to wait till you got to it on Jump on the Bat-Wagon.
Oh, sweet.
Thank you. It's so nice that everyone is enjoying this new chapter in the series. Keen podcast, Brian, Dylan, and James. 5 stars and 5 green rocks that aren't kryptonite, but look more green to me than the green kryptonite just a few feet away. Yes, that was definitely also green. Yeah. No, it's got to be chartreuse. It's got to be teal.
I love that there's these archaeologists, presumably, looking for rocks. They're like, it's got to be green. I'm like, you guys don't know what you're looking for? Really? Yeah.
If you got to hold it up to Superman, and if he's sick, that's the one. Okay.
I mean, that's the thing is they're just throwing rocks. Like, no, it's not green. Like, how do you know? If your description is green.
If you saw the real thing, you'd go, oh, there it is. But if in the meantime, you're like, green pointy rock. That's what this is, sir. No.
At least have a maybe pile. Yeah. Give me a maybe pile.
Yeah, really. And also, if you just bring every weird looking rock home, and maybe it also hurts Superman. I don't know. we don't know that they're all green. Also, that whole little last scene was 5 seconds long. It went by so fast.
Yeah.
It pans over to the real kryptonite, and the frame that it pauses on the kryptonite, it starts fading out. They're like, we don't have any time for this. We have to put this in there for some reason. Edit. Just heard the news about Arlene Sorkin. Yeah, we didn't say anything about that.
Oh my God.
She'll always be my favorite Harley Quinn. She gave what could have been just a minor character such range and depth with her wonderful performance, both in the DCAU and the first Arkham game. I'm glad that there's more of her to come here on the Bat-Wagon. Yes, which you asked me in text, I think. You're like, is there going to be more Harley Quinn? And I was like, oh, yes. So, yeah, that she's not done. But, yeah, that was very, very upsetting.
I was upset.
Yeah. The end. We're not gonna do sad cast. Sads. Alex Lawrence, the Synopsis song is so adorable, makes me smile every episode. There we go. That's a good turnaround. Carly Barron, Brian being surprised by Superman spinning fast is wild because, in the comics, he literally saved the world by building a miracle machine from memory, singing a song into it, and wishing for a happy ending. So it's he spin fast. What about it? I guess there's another one.
Strap on your boots, Carly. I'm gonna have a hard time.
Jarlid 97. My comments have been getting way too long lately. Time to be more direct for fun and games. Toyman, creepy. Balls, crushed. Animation, bangin'. Duck, delightful. Dudes, Yoppie. Hotel, Travago. Super Luigi 64, greetings, Brian and Jam S.
Hello.
Short retread of my comment from Last Son of Krypton. Tony J, Laura's dad, was main villain Megabyte on Reboot. As a Canadian, I can't let it go unsaid. Yeah, I cut that out because I didn't know who that was. Maybe I'll cut it out this time. Who knows? As a little piece of home, aka I had a buyer all lined up in Gotham for that dinosaur. Thanks a lot. Fantastic episode. How do you say this? Is there a name to this? YouTube keeps going back and forth on whether there's user. No, VGF Mac. If you're looking for a new segment for Superman the Animated Series, might I suggest, could Batman have solved it? To put Batman's Bat God meme status to the test by seeing if he could have tagged in for Superman for the episode. If not, here's my take. Last Son of Krypton Part 1. No, Krypton was too far away. Krypton would have exploded by the time Batman got there. And oh yeah, Bruce Wayne was a baby at the time. Last Son of Krypton Part 2. I forget where this episode ends and Part 3 begins, but I don't know if teenage Bruce would have been equipped to handle teenage Clark's issues, but if this was adult Bruce, then maybe he would have made Clark a Robin. I'm not sure how that would help. Last Son of Krypton Part 3. No, unless the episode specifically introduced some industrial thingy that Batman could lure the robot suit into, or if the toy companies really wanted to market a Batman exoskeleton for this episode. Yeah, he would have had to add like a big Batman robot he got in or something.
Batbot.
Batbot. Fun and games. Yes, Batman's prior experience fighting villains with creepy grins and oversized ducks will be a great asset. And a little piece of home. Yes, either this episode wouldn't have happened if it was Batman. Yeah, I guess. Or the antagonist must have had some wild misconception in order to still make it happen.
Can you imagine how short the episode would have been? Batman busts into the museum, like
stops those guys.
Stops the two guys.
Yeah. There's no further plot. Yeah.
Like, and he'd be out of there too. Like the museum doors would open and you just see a little whoosh of Batman's cape. And then that's the end of the episode.
Luthor's looking on the security cameras. Batman was standing next to those rocks. Interesting. This is from LexCorp Cares. So sad to see Superman attacking such an inventive young boy. On this subject, though, of the could Batman have solved it, I do kind of like that. It's creeping into, there's got to be something that'll come up that will go, oh, that's perfect, and we do that. But I like that for VGF Max input on the episode. You can continue to do that. Juan Pedro, if btas made me love Batman, stas made me love Superman. I was never a big fan of the Man of Steel before. I only watched the full show for the first time in 2019, but even though I grew up with Batman, I can say Superman is just as good, if not better, in some aspects. So happy to see we're moving forward with the DCAU. Love the pod, guys. Keep it up. Funny that it took WB 27 years to premiere a new Superman animated show. It just came out this year.
Wow.
It's good also, but it's not DCAU, so you can watch it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know why you would want to. There's so far we haven't had a lot of like, oh, that was so hilariously bad things to say about Superman. It's been pretty just like above average, not like fuck yeah yet, but it's just been like good.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Bikeanon. As a Kansan, I can confirm that we're Kansans, and we're proud that Superman is the best thing we've exported. Way cooler than the Wizard of Oz. Oh, those are fighting words for Brian. Also, Jayhawker's definitely not used unless you're insane about the basketball team. I've never even heard the term before. Well, now you know what it means, I guess.
Oregonians are called webfoots.
Yeah, we were just looking that up, that also has a very like strange, really old history to it, that I guess those were the names of the people that helped push the boats across the Delaware or some shit for George Washington.
What?
That's where that comes from. Then they all moved to Oregon, and that's where that term is.
Okay.
I don't know, man. History's crazy. But I'll read the top line of Lanola Colas because I enjoyed it. In the tune of Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses, welcome to the podcast. We got Brian and James. And last first, we have Mark Aquino. A little piece of home, or it was a green rock. Our pal... No, it has to be green, he said. Our pal Chicken Noodle Soup is not a fan of green rock candy. I can relate. That stuff can get stuck in your teeth, and that gets so annoying. Anywho, this episode was mainly for world-building purposes than anything else, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless, introducing supporting characters Mercy Graves and Professor Emil Hamilton, who will both become important mainstays in the series from this point on. Yes, yes, yes. Last week we had Superman v. Duckman Private Dick, and this week we have Superman v. The Rocketeer Dawn of Art Deco. I dug his face was also very like Joker-y. I was going to mention that. He had just this like long pointy nose and like one line for his mouth, and I was like, did you guys just give up at some point? Like,
obviously.
That's good enough. Yeah. I dug the music during the Rocketeer chase. Very breezy and jazzy. We also got, again, good old Biff Tannen himself as a muscle-bound beefcake. When his character and Superman are falling off the building. Oh, my God. I didn't mention that at all.
The body slam?
Yeah, Superman's go-to, like, get out of the situation is just like, well, and he just, like, suplexes the guy over his back and they fall off the building. And we were like, oh, my God. But then they landed in water, so they were okay. Yeah.
I thought Superman was going to be able to fly, but yeah, no, they just did the good old falling in water.
Got far away. When his character and Superman are falling off the building, you bet that I was disappointed they didn't land in a manure truck.
What about a taco barge?
A taco barge. When falling great distance, just land in any nearby body of water. You'll be as okay as Banana Man. If I had a nickel for every time one of our heroes fights an android dinosaur, I'd have 2 nickels, but the second time hasn't happened yet. I know when it will, but I won't spoil it for the sake of Brother Brickington. I did like, that's still technically a spoiler. I did like how they set up both the lead chalice and Lois's kryptonite free throw. These DCAU peoples, they're quite the clever folks. Boss biggest bear hugs to the #1 podcast host this year, Multiverse of Ours, Jerk Chicken and Blotchy Face. Oh, man.
Oh.
Why? That's so mean. Why would you ever say a mean thing to Brian, to Blotchy Face? Praise to our Lord and Savior, Dylan Pollock. Happy to hear you on the show last week. Keep up the great work on your own pod. And remember to tell Gab that she rules. And, of course, all the awesome sauce listeners of this Yoppie community of ours, you are all the absolute best, and don't you ever forget that. Love the Blue Beetle video on the main Watchtower channel. Everyone who isn't Brian, go check it out. Next week introduces another villain from Superman's Rogues Gallery that most people don't really know, but let's, of course, leave that for Bri to discover. So until next week, big ol' whoosh! I just flew away. I like the little description, in case you didn't know what that means.
Jamie... Do you think Mark Aquino is a bear hugger?
I think so.
I mean, that's probably not just for flair, right?
Bear Man says, okay.
What?
I don't know. What kind of bears are we talking about?
Anyway, what's
the next
next
episode is called Feeding Time. And you already guessed that this was Batman. God damn it. This was Superman at
going to a petting zoo.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you want to give it another whirl? Oh, wait, Brian, hang on. While you're thinking of that,
oh my God, the Ted thing?
I forgot this the last 2 podcast episodes. I'm not going to fucking forget this time. Ted mailed us a physical box. In the box, I assume, is something else. It's presents for finishing Batman the Animated Series on the podcast, and I don't have any idea what it is.
Ted
we'll find out together
presents.
right now. Opening the box. Oh, it's very light. It's like paper inside bubble wrap.
Love that.
Toss the box aside.
This is really good content.
Thank you. Oh, it says, congrats, James and Brian. You've completed watching and podcasting the entirety of Batman the Animated Series in airdate order. You would have convinced me to jump on the Bat-Wagon if I wasn't already on board. As acknowledgement for your accomplishment, I sent you both an item of recognition that I hope you will cherish as a reminder of these wagon times. Included are 2 prints of btas title cards that I know are in your top 10 episodes, both signed by director Kevin Altieri and courtesy of Heroic Fine Art Gallery.
What?
So there's a Feet of Clay title card signed by Kevin Altieri, and there's a Two-Face title card signed by Kevin Altieri. That's pretty dang cool, man.
Oh my God.
Goes on to say, Feet of Clay is meant for Brian, and Two-Face is meant for James, but I don't care if you switch them up. They are 8.5 by 11 inches, so put them in a frame or something. Geez. I've also decided to adjust my personal list of the top 100 funniest people I know, as explained in my Apple Podcast review of your show. Brian now ranks 26th, while James is 59th. Not too shabby, right? Keep up the great work. Some of the DCAU's best stories are yet to come. It's all going to get especially epic. Enjoy it while you can. I like to end letters on an ominous note by my deepest freeze, Ted Kendrick. Oh, there's 2 copies of it, so you can have a letter from Ted also. It's on like btas stationery.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Ted.
Thanks, Ted. Oh my, Jamie, you'll have to, and this is just a little PSA for anybody. If you have art that you care about, don't put it in a frame that the glass or plexiglass or whatever sits on top of the document that you care about.
Yeah.
You always need a mat to separate the glass from the artwork. With humidity changes and stuff like that, the art, if it's like inkjet, can literally adhere and transfer to the glass.
Oh.
Max is pissed. And if you try to take it apart, it'll just rip your art.
The whole art.
Like the art from the paper that it's on and like not.
Yeah.
It's just bad news. So
I believe you. Yeah.
Always use a mat to separate the glass from your art. The end.
Thank you. I had when the box showed up, I said like, "Oh, should I wait? Should I open this now, or should I wait till the podcast?" And Ted was like, "Well, if you hear it like growling, maybe poke some air holes in there." And then I told him that twice in a row we forgot to open this on the podcast. I said, "But I haven't heard any growling," and he's like, "Oh, that's probably not a good sign." That's good. Thank you, Ted. It was very thoughtful. I'll give Brian his, or I'll keep his instead.
No!
Brian and I don't talk outside the podcast, so it's impossible.
That's super cool, though. How do you get like Kevin Altieri? Look at this Bubba.
I don't know.
Look at this
dog. That's a small dog. That's a little dog. What's feeding time about?
He's a little dog. Oh, feeding time. I'm guessing that Superman. Superman's gonna get in trouble with some kind of like, I don't know, man-eating animal. Like predator? Should I say predator instead of man-eating animal?
It's the phrasing is very like a stone's throw, I got a kryptonite chalice throw, meaning an entire solar system. But it's kind of close. You'll see. That's the end of the podcast, everybody. Cool. Thanks for listening and stuff.
Thanks, listeners.
I faded away there because I thought there was a spider on my foot, but there wasn't.
Spider-Man?
Spider foot. Spider feet. Send us pictures of your spider feet. No, don't do that.
Is that how we end?
We're done now. See you later. Have a good one.
Okay, bye, listener.
Hope the rest of your week is just swell. Sincerely, James and Brian.
Yes, that.
Thank you, Superman.
No, Lois, thank you. You saved my life.
I suppose I did.
I owe you one.
I'd say an exclusive interview would just about even us up.
All right. Under one condition. You don't print anything about the kryptonite.
No, green. It has to be green.
Jump on the Bat-Wagon is hosted by the Watchtower database. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for DC Animated Universe videos on a regular basis. This podcast is edited and produced by yours truly, James Strecker. Musical themes by Kimmy, Cooney Phoenix, Viltsu, and of course, my smooth co-host, Brian Brother Broderick Manili. To buy us a Yoppie beverage and hear your name read in a future episode, or to nab yourself a Yoppie Dude t-shirt, please visit the links in today's show notes. And thank you for supporting the show. You can hear more on today's DCAU episode by checking out our friends over on the DCAU Review and Timm Talk podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star review on your app of choice. You'll damn well hear it read on the show. And remember, if you'd like to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of The Cat and the Claw Part 2, you can email batwagonpod@gmail.com or leave a comment on the Podtower. New episodes of Jump on the Bat-Wagon are released Fridays on all your favorite podcast feeds and watchtowerdatabase.com. And we'll see you next episode, same PP time, same poo-poo channel.